Welcome to the newest episode of Friday Night Wars, the hottest sports debate show on YouTube. And you hear who's speaking, so you know the deal. You know who won the 2-week long previous episode of Friday Night Wars. That is right, Mike on the mic. So put 60 seconds on my clock, and I'm going to give you my victory speech. Joe, I'm not going to bag on you today. I'm actually going to share all the reasons that I appreciate you. So sit back, get some popcorn, and enjoy the Joe Morley appreciation speech. Joe, I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication to this show and to your craft. I appreciate your sense of humor and ability to debate at the highest of levels. I also appreciate your ability to make me somehow look attractive. I appreciate you jobbing to the real star of Friday Night Wars week in and week out. I appreciate your Raiders fandom because it's really easy to roast you for it. And most of all, Joe, I appreciate the winning streak that you just let me start on Friday Night Wars and going forward. That's all for today's victory speech. Just some Joe Morley sports appreciation.
Let's get ready to rumble. Step into the war zone. 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 Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone. Hey yo, it's Phil Flames. I'm with Mike on the mic and Joe Morley. About to bring you more heat. Welcome to the war zone. You can have a floor seat. Watch them on your iPhone. Watch them on your Galaxy. It's a sports debate show. Straight up out of SoCal. Gather around the laptop. Friday nights it goes down. And we on the radio. Coming to your locale. Got into the third round. Better bring the smoke now. Step into the war zone. 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 Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone. Step into the 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 war zone. Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone.
Mike, did you just call me in a weird way ugly? That's how I took it, because you said I make you somehow look good.
No,
I mean, dude.
No.
Mike, look, let me get my good side.
No, Joe, all I said is that I appreciate you and a bunch of reasons why I appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't think you really do appreciate me. I think you appreciate me, but you were like kicking those tires, like.
No, you're taking it the wrong way.
I have like.
You got to take it as a compliment, right? I came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reasons why I appreciate you and you being on this show with me.
Basically, you were that guy that starts an argument and you go, "Hey, no disrespect, but that's basically how you said." Instead of saying no disrespect, you were like, "I appreciate you," but
no disrespect, but you suck.
No disrespect, but I kick your butt every week on here. No disrespect, you're ugly, I'm cute. That's how I took it, but you just went the nicer way and said, you know, no, you don't appreciate me. You know what? We're lucky we're not in the same room, because we really have a war zone right now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you throw that jab at Brian towards the end of that show. I thought you were gonna punch your camera. You couldn't resist yourself.
Just something about Brian bolstered up sports and his face. Something about that face. And you guys don't know already, we do have a new show. You guys love Friday Night Wars. I know you guys love Friday Night Wars. Everybody turns into Friday Night Wars, and Mike and I have a great time. We just wanted to expand that to our friends, so you guys need to check that out. It's Welcome to the War Zone, and Mike and I welcome people into our war zone, and we debate the same topic, or not the same topics, different topics, but kind of the same way, but we just have that third person. And we had Brian Bolstered Up Sports as our first guest on that. He nailed it. Great show.
Yeah, and it's more of like a free form. You know, this show's very minute 30 seconds, stuff like that. We just kind of get on and we talk, right? So that way you can kind of just get a regular talk show, something that'd be really good to listen to, maybe on your car ride. Just set it down on the seat and let it play over the speaker. Or if you're doing some chores around the house, just pop it in. You don't necessarily need to see our faces because, like Joe Morley said, it makes you want to punch our faces like a whack-a-mole game. Also, another development, I'm gonna leave the link in the bio, but it's pretty easy. If you want to join the army, join Team Joe, join Team Mike, all you gotta do is head over to FridayNightWars.com. We officially have merch up there. This is our first week of really promoting it, so we'd really appreciate it. Show some support. Even a $5 sticker goes a long ways for us, and getting our name out there and just showing support for the show. Anyways, I think that's about it, right? Drop a subscribe. Get ready to comment who won. You ready to go to war?
You said FridayNightWars.com for the merch, right? Friday Night Wars. Get your Team Joe shirts so we can show Mike who really is the leader around here. But yes, I am ready to go to war. After all, Mike, I appreciate you.
You know what, Joe? I actually did think about buying a Joe Morley shirt just because I support you, Joe. And again, I appreciate you. But then I noticed that the shirt was in those colors. Can't do it. So excited for the show this week. Let's go to war.
All right, gentlemen, question number 1. Is it time for the Steelers to rebuild?
Steelers rebuild? I'm going to have to say no. The Steelers don't need a complete rebuild like some of these teams. They don't need to tear everything down. Once they re-sign or figure out what they're going to do with Bud Dupree, then their defense is set, right? Their defense is completely set. So I'm going to say, let's call it a modified rebuild because it's kind of a rebuild, but it's not a rebuild, right? They aren't bringing back their offensive coordinator or their offensive line coach. They already made that decision. They're gone. Big Ben is a cap hit of $41 million. James Conner's a free agent. Juju is a free agent. James Conner was part of the worst running game in the NFL. So I think they let all three go. Bye. See you guys later, right? So now you're going to bring in a new offense coordinator. You let him choose his weapons. He's going to bring in a quarterback. He has to bring in a quarterback, right? You're losing Juju. It's not the end of the world because they already have 3 other wide receivers that could take his spot. So the Steelers know how to draft wide receivers too. So really you're looking at the new offense coordinator and you're looking at him to bring in a quarterback, offensive lineman, and a running back, right? Which seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. But it's something that you could do in one offseason. It's something that any team can do in one offseason. You could bring in a veteran quarterback or you could draft one. And then the running back, same thing. And you got your guys. But I think the offensive line needs to be the more focus point of anything. If they do anything, it has to be the offensive line. But the Steelers will basically be like the Dolphins were this year. A great defense and an offense that needs to find their identity. So it's not like a complete rebuild. It's just finding identity on one side of the ball. And if you know, and I love Mike Tomlin, and I think he's one of the top coaches in the league. He doesn't rebuild. Mike Tomlin does not rebuild. In 14 seasons, he's never had a losing season, and he's not going to start now.
Here's the question you have to ask yourself. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you're Mike Tomlin, if you're making these decisions, take off Big Ben, like you said. Take out James Conner. Take out Juju Smith-Schuster. Are you better than the Baltimore Ravens next year? Are you better than the Cleveland Browns next year? Can you get better than those teams? I think the Bengals are going to make some moves. Do you want to be down there fighting with the Bengals for the last spot in the division because you didn't make any moves? You tried to just run it back with Mason Rudolph and Chase Claypool as your wide receiver 1? Don't get me wrong. Chase Claypool 100% has the potential to one day be a wide receiver 1 in this league, but he also has a lot of flaws right now, and I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 in one offseason. If the Steelers don't think that whatever moves they're going to make with that extra cap that you're talking about, they can get better than the Browns and get better than the Ravens. Remember, the Browns have a lot of injuries, and they've been hit with COVID like crazy, bad weather games. When the Browns have a regular season, they may be even better than they are right now, and they put up 28 on the Steelers in the first quarter. If the answers to these questions are no, then what are you waiting for? Yes, you do need to rebuild. You do need to blow it up. You do need to trade some of these young guys for draft capital so you can get multiple young guys while you can, because the day is coming. TJ Watt's payday is coming. All of those young players' paydays are coming. So you're going to have the same results if you start a rebuild now for the drama that's going to ensue when those days come and you got to pay all these players.
Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Chase Claypool. I'm not saying Chase Claypool is going to be your number one, but he's a damn good playmaker, right? Deontay Johnson, just hold on to the damn ball. Hold on to the damn ball, and you're number one wide receiver all day, even with Juju on the team.
Yeah.
James Washington is a very underrated wide receiver on that team. So that's why I'm said that they're set at a wide receiver. That's why I said that they're there. But I understand the points that you made. Yeah, if you don't feel that you can compete in your division with what you have, you blow it up and you start all over. But I think they do compete. I mean, they did win the division this year with Big Ben and his old age, you know what I mean? With Big Ben and his arm struggling. So you're going to put somebody in there that's going to add more life. That's because Big Ben's not moving around like he used to. You put somebody in there that moves around. And I've always said that I thought the best backup quarterback for him would have been Jameson Winston, who I think really is a free agent this year, right? Even though he signed with Saints. Somebody like that. Or you bring somebody in that has a little bit of mobility. And if you want to draft somebody to do it, but they're going to have to – I think they're going to have to put a stopgap and then the quarterback that they get.
Well, my key thing is what is the Steelers' plans with the cap they're going to get from, obviously Ben hopefully retiring, Juju maybe walking, and James Conner. The Steelers have always been a team that builds from within. And you never see them sign big names. I mean, what key piece on that team this year was not drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers? You know what I mean? And they also don't like to pay those guys even unless they're, elite players on the team. And I think they're going to pay TJ Watt. I think Minka already has a big contract when his day comes. I think they'll pay him up again. But just saying that, and Minka's probably really the only one on the team that came from the outside, right? So what is the Steelers' plans? If they're planning on just going at the draft hard, if they're planning on saving that cap to re-sign these players when it comes, hey, man, go ahead and draft young players. Go ahead and trade the guys you don't see in your long-term future over the next couple years at the trade deadline in the off seasons. Let's do a little, season and a half rebuild. Keep your key pieces around and then go at it again. Come on back, because by then, who knows what Lamar's going to look like of a couple more seasons of running the ball like he does. Who knows what Baker's going to look like? It feels like we're all just waiting for the downfall of Baker Mayfield. I feel like everyone is just waiting for that to happen. And I think Baker's probably going to be an above average quarterback in the NFL. And at some point, it's just not going to be enough for the Browns and they're going to move on, right? So I'm looking at the perspective long-term. What are the Steelers' plans? Are they going to go after a Super Bowl again next year? Or are they just going to tread water next year? Because if you're just going to tread water, go ahead and start the rebuild now.
Don't listen to him, Pittsburgh. Don't listen to him. You're good enough to compete. You're good enough to beat those guys. And, to go off topic, I like Baker Mayfield. I think he gets a bad rap. I like Baker Mayfield. I don't think Cleveland will move on for him in the next couple of years. I think they're finding their identity. They found out that, just like any young quarterback, you need to be able to hand that ball off. And that if you're building a team and the Steelers, you need to find a running back. That if you're going to bring in a young quarterback, you need to find a running back. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying find the greatest running back, because running backs are shown that they're dispensable here in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it is. You get a running back that can be good 1 or 2 years. Every once in a while, you find a running back that's great for your team for years, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, people used to write Derrick Henry off. Derrick Henry has never. Yeah. He's become the beast that he is now. Become King Henry, right? Mm-hmm. You know that. King Henry. But he, at one point in his career, people were going to write Derrick Henry off until he got the right coach. So I'm just saying, Mike Tomlin, I think he knows what he's going to do. He's going to use that money correctly. He's going to get with Kevin Colbert, and they're going to make their money go a long way. And that's what the Steelers do. The Steelers aren't about rebuilding. They're about winning championships. I'm not a Steeler fan, but that organization is one organization that every organization looks at and they want to be. I mean, it is what it is. The Steelers don't rebuild. they win. Well, I mean, Mike Tomlin is what? Their third coach in what? 50 years? Like
Yeah.
they're a loyal organization, and you brought that up. They like to build from within. But sometimes times changes, right? Sometimes you got to go out there and you got to reach for this guy here and there. And I see the Steelers doing it, but I don't see them rebuilding at all.
Yeah, I mean, the people are going to be out there. The players are going to be out there this offseason. People are moving around like crazy. For example, you let Juju walk. You let Big Ben go. Like, that's a lot of money right there. You could definitely get Allen Robinson. 100% you could grab Allen Robinson for whatever young quarterback that you want, right? You'll have the money to do it when you lose that cap hit from Juju and Big Ben. And to go back to Baker, I'm not saying that I'm not bagging on Baker. I just don't think Baker Mayfield might not be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Maybe in the right situation, he could do it if the Browns really built that defense up and were able to keep that run game. But the Baker haters, and I'm talking to you again, Brian, you just keep coming up in the show. Everyone says that Baker is carried by that run game. And I want to bring up the argument that any quarterback in the NFL would be carried by that run game. I don't care if it's Jesus himself. They're probably going to hand the ball off when you're averaging 150, 200 yards a game and 3 touchdowns from your 2 running backs with, the offensive line that is much improved from years past with Baker Mayfield. But yeah, the Steelers definitely could go out and be a Super Bowl team next year. It's just the trend in the past is that they don't make those kind of moves and they'd rather just build on their young players that they have. And
Here's my last thing.
It's just not going to be enough.
Last thing. No, Mike. No. Allen Robinson will not go to the Steelers. There's no way. I don't care how much money they have. Allen Robinson only has one place to go this
You just
offseason.
want to go to the Raiders.
And that's the Raiders. And I will not let you throw Allen Robinson on any other team but the Raiders. I'm just saying. I know everybody loves Allen Robinson. I just had to get it out there. But, yeah, like you said, anybody benefits from a great running game.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. But I think we nailed this as much as we can. We took our shots at Brian. We took our shots at either way, we both agree the Steelers have a great defense. They have a great defense. So we're just looking at them if rebuilding it. So it is you're basically agreeing with me, a modified rebuild on the offense. Get that going and let's compete. Unless you want to trade away.
I'm agreeing with you that they should do that. I'm disagreeing you. I don't think they will do that. Anyways, leave a comment. What you think of this round? Let's move on to the next one.
Second question. Will the Nets' big 3 mesh?
Joe, I am glad that we are talking about this topic because a lot of people are against this big 3 that has been formed in Brooklyn. This big 3, when healthy and clicking, is probably one of the best that we've seen in NBA history. The issue is going to come when we talk about their mentality more than their talent on the court. And that is something that, to me, I think you can correct over time. James Harden and Kyrie Irving do not have that championship mentality that Kevin Durant possesses and other players like LeBron James. They don't have that drive to where winning that chip to prove you're one of the best in the game means everything to them. They have other things that seem like they mean more to them, like Michael Jordan, like Kobe Bryant, like LeBron, and like Kevin Durant. And that is the key here. Can Kevin Durant share his experience and his drive to get that ring with his teammates who just don't seem to have that same drive? I think he can. And in these 2 years or so, I think that he's going to get to them and influence them to let them know that this is much bigger than them. An entire city, an entire fan base is behind you as a player and as a team in Brooklyn. KD wants to win a championship away from Golden State so bad that he will whip these guys and work these guys into shape mentally to either make that run or get it together and get out. It's going to be one of the two with Kevin Durant. Kyrie and James Harden will realize the opportunity that they have here playing with a guy like Kevin Durant on a team where you have a championship roster with a coach like Steve Nash, and they're going to seize that opportunity one day.
Mike, you're still, I don't know what world you're living in. We talked about the big three, with the Nets a couple episodes ago when it was still rumors, right? And where we thought James Harden would go when the trade rumors going out. I'm still saying no. James Harden and Kyrie Irving did some crybaby, weak, and I just have to put it, weak shit. I have to put it that way. I was trying to think of another word besides shit to say, but there's no other word. It's weak, man. What they did and their conduct is not what you do for business, but they got their way, right? They got their way. Well, at least Harden did. At least Harden did. Where's Kyrie? Where's Kyrie? Is he even going to show up? Right? Does he want to play? I mean, look at how they handled everything before the team is even put together on the court. Look how they're doing right now before they're even together. Imagine just one thing slightly going wrong. Slightly going wrong. And this is going to turn out better than a telenovela, right? Better, I don't know. If you're a big telenovela fan, those are the best shows in the world. Let me just tell you. Anyways, I love Kevin Durant. I wish him nothing but the best. I love watching Kevin Durant. I'm not a big basketball fan, but that's one guy that I turn in and watch. These other two, Irving and Harden, I think they're bad for business, man. I think they're very bad for business. But didn't Kevin Durant and Harden try this before in Oklahoma? Like, they tried this before. It is what it is. Anytime you have too many people with huge egos, I'm going to say it, with huge egos, bad things happen. We've seen it before in every sport, and basketball is in a downward spiral with allowing their stars to speak out against organizations and demand trades, all that stuff that's going on, right? So, Mike, I'm going to give you some advice. Let's just sit back. Let's just sit back. We'll sit on their couch and we'll watch the Brooklyn Nets fireworks go off because it's going to get good. And I just have a question. Where's Terrell Owens? Because we need some damn popcorn. We need the popcorn, T.O. Bring it on.
He's gonna pour it into his face mask real quick. Yeah, man. They did try to run this back before, but then they ran into a buzzsaw. One king, your king and my king, took care of business against them in the finals. Way back when, it almost seems like a dream. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden on the same team, because so much has happened and their careers have gone completely opposite paths since that day that those three were together and blew that 3-1 lead to Golden State and also lost in the finals the year before. But moral of the story is I think that if these guys can just get it together and just get to the team, be on the team, within like 3 months, we're going to see a completely different James Harden. You're going to see a completely different Kyrie Irving, because the combination of Steve Nash and Kevin Durant's experience and mindsets, I think they could get to those guys. They could crack those eggs at least long enough to make a couple runs at a title in the next couple years that they're all going to be together. Because Joe Harris is no slouch, and he's the fourth, and then DeAndre Jordan, Lob City Jordan, is at the 5. That starting lineup is probably the best starting lineup on paper in the league today, and probably the best starting lineup we've seen since Kevin Durant was in Golden State. So, I mean, it's all about just getting those guys mentally on the same track and the same goals that Kevin Durant has for this team, and it's got to happen, right? I mean, I don't know what's going on with Kyrie. I try to be on the player's side in these situations. He's making it very hard. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sure he's going through something, because he wouldn't just walk away from the game when he knows this team is ready to make a run right now, unless something crazy was happening to him behind the scenes. And it's got to have some deep meaning to him for him to be out the game. James Harden, on the other hand, he is trying to self-sabotage his career. And he needs to just stop doing that. And he just needs to go to his hotel or go to his house, sleep, and then go to practice. And then go to his house, sleep, and then go to practice. Don't get on social media. Don't do anything stupid. Just be the basketball player we all know you are, James Harden. You're the best ISO player in the game today. And you're probably one of the best pure scorers the game's ever seen. And you're throwing it all away because you're upset about your situation. Well, here's the thing about sports. You sign contracts, and there's only one way to get out, and that's to play through it or, demand a trade, but do it in the right way. You know what I mean? Do it in the right way. I'm all about supporting the players, but those two got to get their acts together. But if they do, and when they do, the Nets are the best team in the NBA, probably.
James Harden is about a box of Twinkies and a box of ding dongs away from looking like me. And he's giving people that look like me, the big, voluptuous guys, like making us have dreams of playing in the NBA again. Like, that's the way he's looking. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but he's out of shape. He's not the James Harden that we're used to seeing.
He doesn't care.
I mean, he's still balling out. He still balls out, but he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And hopefully this trade kicks it back into gear and it's all good. I just don't see it. I've been wrong before. So hopefully I'm wrong this time. I'm just saying. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. Hopefully you get your crap together. Hopefully you guys do what's best for the NBA and do what's best for your brand, and you build it up and you go win a championship, because that's the best thing. Winning cures everything, right? If you win, nobody's going to remember the crap that Harden pulled to get there. Nobody will. I'm just going to be honest with you. Nobody's going to care. They're going to still say Houston was stupid to give him up, even though he went through all this crap. So just go out there and win. Shut up. I'm sorry to say it. I hate to say it, because like you said, I love when players voice their opinion, but sometimes you voice it too much and it's bad for business. Go win, then run that mouth. Then talk about it, and then, because there will be nothing better. There will be nothing better for him at the end of the season, right? For Harden at the end of the season, if he's holding that trophy at the end of they win, right? The Nets win. There'd be nothing better than for Harden to say, "See, Houston, this is why I wanted out, because I wanted to win. I knew my worth was better than being there. But right now, you're just doing this. You're just doing this, and you have nothing to back it up." But he holds that trophy at the end. He's celebrating with Durant. He's celebrating with Irving. And then he runs his mouth against Houston. I would be like, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Because you knew what you were worth and you knew what you wanted and you got out of there. But right now, it's just this. Fix this, win some games, and then, dude, I'll believe everything you say and I'll back you 100%. But I can't back players that don't have anything to back themselves right now.
Yeah, and also Harden's got to be thinking the Brooklyn Nets, because when this trio's done, the Brooklyn Nets just sacrificed their potential to have long-term success for immediate. They gave up everything for James Harden. James Harden's got to have that perspective. This team and this fan base lost everything for me. Just me. Just my beard, my step back three. That's all that they lost all of that for. If I don't come through for them in appreciation at the very minimum for getting me out of that situation and giving Houston everything for me, dude, just retire. I mean, I'm not even the guy to do that usually, but that you got to have that perspective right now, and hopefully something like that mindset will motivate Harden. And another thing that I want to point out before we move on to the next topic is this is even a bigger deal for Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant is in the same kind of mindset as LeBron James, right? Kevin Durant, are you making fun of my hand movements? Sorry, I'm Italian, but Kevin Durant is in the same mindset as LeBron James. He's worried about his legacy. When people talk about Kevin Durant after Kevin Durant's career is over, he wants it to be that Kevin Durant was one of the best players of all time. If Kevin Durant doesn't win a championship with Kyrie Irving and James Harden on the roster, that is a severe hit to his legacy. And anyone that ever tries to talk about Kevin Durant being the best player ever, and, in 5-7 years, long after LeBron's retired, the LeBron lovers and the MJ lovers are going to bring up this moment where Kevin Durant didn't win a championship with James Harden and Kyrie Irving on his team.
I agree. I think Kevin Durant is up there with LeBron, not championship-wise, but talent-wise. So that's my last thing. And your hand movement, I'm not making fun of your hand movement. I just think that we're part of I don't know. I thought we were doing a boy band thing for a minute. So I was like, there we go.
All right. Let's move on to the next round.
It's Friday Night Wars. I don't know. I just thought that's where we were going. So I thought we were making a music video or something. My bad. Got carried away. But, girl, you know that there's one thing that I want. I don't know. That's where I'm going with it. Next topic.
Question number 3, gentlemen. Who has the best shot at an upset in the divisional round?
Mike, I'm jumping on the Los Angeles Rams bandwagon at least this weekend. At least for this weekend. I didn't expect them to be this far. I loved them early on in the season, but I fell out of love when the injury started to hit, right? I fell out of love. They showed me something against Seattle. They reminded me how great defense is, how great that defense is. And I've always said that the Packers are a good team, but there was something about the Packers. There's something about the Packers I don't trust. The Packers just signed an offensive tackle that started for another team last week, and he's going to start for them this week. So come on, that offensive line is shaken up. And the one thing that kills Green Bay is a great defensive line, right? Jalen Ramsey has shut down DK Metcalf, DeAndre Hopkins, and others this year. So what's going to stop him from shutting down Devontae Adams? Right? I think the Rams upset the Packers and are set for a great matchup against the Bucs or the Saints. Mike, put this in your head real quick. Can you imagine the Rams and the Saints matchup? Rams and the Saints again in New Orleans. Saints fans are already crying because the Bucs are coming down. Can you imagine if the Rams come to town again, right? Can you imagine that, huh? Yeah, I'm taking a shot at some Saints fans out there already crying, thinking the fix is in. The fix is in. Well, the fix is in when the Rams beat the Packers, right? I'm telling you, just look at the remaining teams in the playoffs, right? I think no matter what, who goes to the Super Bowl, the matchups are going to be great. I hate to see the NFL season end, but playoff football is awesome. This weekend, I'm on the Rams, and I'm just saying, Mike, and I've said this before. I think we said this with Brian, Boasted Up Sports, in our last show. Lakers won. Dodgers won. Are the Rams going to make it a trifecta? Or is the fix in, as some people would say? Just throwing it out there.
All right. Before I go, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there that I would take Tampa Bay in this situation. But I think Tampa Bay has been talked about enough for one on this show by myself. And also, underdog, we're talking upset. I think Tampa Bay would not be the craziest upset you've ever heard of. So I'll do another team other than Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Take them out. Throw them out the argument. I'll save you the time, Joe. Listen to me talk about the Bucs again on this show. But the other team that I think could possibly upset this weekend is the Baltimore Ravens over the Buffalo Bills. And here's why. The Bills were played close/lost to the Pats, Titans, Rams, Dolphins. They lost to Arizona in a miracle. I'll kind of take that one out. What do all these teams have in common? The teams that played them real close, threatened beating them, or did beat them. Strong run first offenses. And this week, you'll see the reigning MVP, who is finding his form again, make this the most dynamic run game the Bills have seen this season. They are going to come at the Bills 10 different ways on the ground. Usually the Bills' fate is on the back of Josh Allen. Not this week, ladies and gentlemen. He has a great responsibility to make sure that offense keeps up, but this defense has to step up, has to show some grit, has to show some hunger to win this game. Get down in the trenches, move the Ravens blockers, and gang tackle Lamar and JK, or the Ravens could upset the Buffalo Bills this weekend. To beat a dynamic offense like this, where they can come at you in 10 different ways, like I said, you have to be aggressive. So, Buffalo, be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Be aggressive.
Yeah.
I want to get on that. I just want to get on the song. Like, go be aggressive. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, if I can't take Tampa, I'll take the Bills.
I mean, I don't like interrupting.
Or the Ravens.
If you're gonna sing, we're gonna sing. We're gonna be aggressive. But I didn't mean to laugh at you during your take. I don't know if you saw. I was laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing because you said some of these teams almost beat the Bills. Almost. I mean, last time I checked, the Bills only have three losses.
And this isn't my pick. This is me trying to pick one that could happen. My pick
could happen, but you said almost. They almost lost to these teams because they were built this way. Doesn't mean they were. I mean, if you're gonna pick an upset, you pick the Rams.
No.
You don't want to take the Cleveland Browns over the Chiefs?
You're banking the entire Rams victory on Jalen Ramsey stopping Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers is gonna go off if they just
who? Aaron who?
Aaron Rodgers is gonna go off on his own.
The discount double check?
Yeah, discount double check. The dude is on a tear this year. This might be the best Aaron Rodgers we've ever seen.
Can you imagine if we had a State Farm Super Bowl? Hell no. Like, I'd rather have Tom Brady in the Super Bowl than a State Farm Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers.
Speaking of the fix.
How much did State Farm pay the NFL?
Exactly.
Friday Night Wars with the fix right now.
Like a good neighbor.
I mean, I'm just saying. Hey, State Farm, if you guys are out there,
shoot it to you.
Shoot it.
We're on to you.
We'll quiet down.
Yeah.
I'll
take this video down for a price that will be negotiated by my lawyer.
But we know, we're saying it right now, Friday Night Wars, State Farm and the NFL are together. Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers for the State Farm Super Bowl. The Super Bowl brought to you by State Farm Insurance.
But can you imagine the commercials that they would actually run?
Yeah.
If it was the State Farm.
We're giving free advertisement to State Farm. So State Farm, come on.
We know you're watching.
We want to be in on the fix as well. We'll shut everything down. We'll do the little Men in Black little boop on our followers. We'll get them all quiet as long as our bank accounts is more like, I'm tired of looking at my bank account and seeing that $8. You know what I mean? I want to see a couple more zeros on there. I want to see a couple more zeros. State Farm. Are any of you other NFL athletes out there? Because I know, like we said, Mike, there's, everybody's watching our show. There's so many people watching our show. If DK Metcalf wants to come out here and say, look, he didn't shut me down. Hey, DK, come on the show. Let us know.
Well, that's kind of like going to be hard to dispute, though, for DK.
Yeah. Numbers don't lie. What did my coach? My coach used to always say that. The tape don't lie. The tape don't lie.
Tape don't lie in this situation. But yeah, Devontae Adams, for one, is a completely different animal than DK Metcalf. Devontae Adams is probably the best route runner in the league. He's one of the fastest receivers in the league. He's got some of the best hands in the league. He's all around. I mean, I have him at 2 because DeAndre Hopkins has been doing this for, ever since his rookie year on. But Devontae Adams does this through these playoffs and starts it off next season real hot. I'm ready to move Devontae Adams as the best receiver in football.
Ooh, let me look into the crystal ball.
You're gonna say the Rams?
Rams. I didn't even have to turn the ball on. I guess you could turn this ball on. You can make it different. Oh, look, it's even like, but I shouldn't give it away. But yeah, you could be like, "Ooh, Rams." I mean, it's in the ball.
I didn't see the Rams there. I saw Aaron Rodgers smiling. Got a week off. He was in Tahiti this week, by the way. He was talking to Pat McAfee on the show, just relaxing, watching film.
You don't have the special powers to look into the crystal ball like I do. You don't. You just see the crystal ball. So I know you're lying. I can actually see deep into the ball, and it shows me everything.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. What's that game tomorrow? Is that game Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. The Rams game is Saturday because I looked it up and it was supposed to be like 36 degrees or something like that.
I'll tell you what. If the Packers lose to the Rams, I'm probably just going to go away for 24 hours. So you don't have to bother saying whatever you're going to say if the Rams win this game.
I know we like to give it to the people. I know we like to let our fans vote. But how about this? If the Ravens win or if the Rams win, automatically win this.
But if that's the case, I'm taking Tampa. Wait a minute.
Tampa's not an upset. It's not an upset.
Are they favored to win the game?
There's not an upset.
That's an upset.
No, when a 6 seed takes out a number 1, that's an upset.
What seed is Tampa? A 5?
5
versus a number 2? A team that has gotten blown out to twice? Yeah, that's an upset. I don't think the Ravens are going to
get out of here, man.
I'm not saying that, but I'll take the deal. Because I think Green Bay is going to take care of business. I think Buffalo's going to take care of business. So then we'll just go.
And then we bring it back to the Friday Night Wars audience.
We'll go to the fan vote, and the fan vote's just going to vote for me. So I like the deal.
Ruth, Esther,
vote for Mike.
All the ladies in
vote
the
for
book.
Mike. Vote for Mike.
Come on out. I'm sure they already went to the FridayNightWars.com. They've already gone to FridayNightWars.com because we already mentioned it earlier. FridayNightWars.com, guys. You guys can get stickers, mugs, shirts, everything. Team Joe. I mean, if you want a Team Mike, I don't know why. I mean, maybe just to stomp on it, do whatever you need to do.
Wash your car.
Team Joe shirt, sweatshirt. It's cold out there. Put a sweatshirt on. I don't know. Put it on. And we'll help you guys out. And if you guys end up buying this and you guys end up buying our merchandise, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you right now. I haven't ran this through Mike. I'm just going to throw it out there right now.
Uh-oh.
If you send me a picture in merchandise, in one of our merchandise, I will throw it up on every one of my social media. And I'm sure Mike, you want to do the same thing?
Yeah.
If you guys send us pictures, if wearing our merchandise, we will throw you out there. If you're family members, if you have your own podcast and you want your podcast thrown out there, I will throw you out there. Look at who's repping Team Mike or Team Joe or the Friday Night War stuff. So it's a little incentive. You buy our gear, and you show us love. I'm gonna show you love right back, guys. We're gonna show you the love right back.
100%. We really appreciate all the support. Well, I think that's it for this week, Joe. Any last words to try and get some votes? But it's a waste of time at this point.
Bring me that W. This is like a W, right?
You're doing all this dancing while you're doing the W.
And I got
They're currently typing in MIKE on the mic.
Joe Morley Sports. It's a Joe Morley Sports show.
All right, we'll close it out. They get it. They get it. They get it.
They know. No, I did spell it out for them. It's J-O-E. That's all. Just 3. It's easier than spelling Mike because Mike is 4 letters. Mine's 3. That's all you need. Save yourself. Just hit the 3.
That was a good argument. I'll give you that. That was the best argument you've ever posed on this show. All right, y'all. Just always remember, when you're talking sports or in a sports debate, you never know when you're going to have to go to
War.
Let's get ready to rumble. Step into the war zone. 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 Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone.
So you get me every time. I want you to say go to war, and then like I'm pumped up, like I'm already now I'm already got my hand there. You got me looking stupid in front of our fans.
It's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Oh,
that's the whole point.
It's the only way that you can win some debates around it. That's cool.
Well, I mean, it's my stick to just kind of mess up your ending, right? So that way that the last thing they have in their mind when they go to vote is Joe going like this before the show's over.
I'm trying to look cute, trying to do something bad. Oh, dang, that was awesome. Like, Joe just hit that camera like, boom. And then you're
Strategy.
I mean, if that's the kind of games that we're going to play, I got you.